speaking with Canberra resident Morgan Hubbard about her trek to the foot of the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, in September, all in the name of climate change. Thanks for speaking with me, Morgan.
That's okay.
Now, why Everest? Was using your green, biodegradable shopping bags at the Canberra supermarkets not enough anymore?
It was more for the fact that Everest and Nepal and the Himalayan mountains are really affected by climate change because they are at such a high altitude and they have so much ice and weather change that climate change, just a slight degree change, has a huge impact on them. And so it was about seeing what the impact of climate change is and how it's affecting local communities, and not just reading about it, but seeing it, talking to the communities and working with them.
Okay. And did seeing any climate change effect in Australia or the Canberra region have any impact on your decision to make this huge international trek?
I don't think I've really recognised a lot of climate change issues in Canberra, because when I talk to Mum and Dad about the fact that all of a sudden we've got all this rain and the drought sort of ended, they just say this is how it was 20 years ago. So in Australia, we still have the extremes, but we've always had extremes. And the way Australia's cycle is going, it's as if it's going back to what it used to be, and then it'll go back through it. So I don't think Australia is seeing a lot of the climate change issues at this moment in time, but with how we're going and how we're moving towards it, and the fact that we're not tackling climate change, and there's still so many people who don't take it seriously or think it's a real issue, they're just saying, nah, it's going to happen anyway, and we don't have any effect on it. I think Australia will see it eventually.
Fantastic. I guess, it's a huge undertaking. You've got to raise, it's close to $4,000, isn't it, for the, what charity are you fundraising for?
For the Australian Youth Climate Coalition.
Okay. Now, do you see yourself now as a bit of a climate change ambassador?
Right now, I don't, but I think by the time that I've done the trek and I've worked with the Himalayan Climate Initiative, and as well as this year, having signed up for the trek, I've also signed up to become a volunteer with the Australian Youth Climate Coalition based in Canberra, so I can start getting involved with the Australian initiatives that are going out there. And I'm also looking at extending my stay in Nepal so that I can do more than just 3 days working and volunteering with the Himalayan Climate Initiative, to doing it for, say, 10 or 12 days until I've got to come back to Australia. So after that, maybe.
I guess now, closer to home, you've got all this experience and exposure to people that are actively trying to, get the news about climate change out there. What can Canberra residents do, other than climbing to the base of the world's highest peak, to make a difference?
I think they just need to get involved and become educated about the actual issues, and then they don't have to get involved in a huge thing, but if they find something that they believe in, to write a letter to their local politician, to get involved with a local community organisation, to find out ways that they can influence the impact and the direction that Australia is heading, government-wise and policy-wise, to sustainable energy, to the use of products, and you can make such a small difference by choosing the earth-friendly products as opposed to the incredibly chemically harsh products that you can't even touch your skin. And if every single person made that little change, then it's this big change that would happen in its entirety. So they don't need to do this big trek to see how it's affecting other countries. They can, within themselves and within their own home unit, think, how the difference, what little thing can I contribute that will eventually roll on to changing Australia's future.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for speaking with the Canberra Post, Morgan, and good luck on your trek.
Thank you.